So I'm Josh Turner. I'm one of the many Joshes that's involved with this race event. I'm going to walk you through a few things here to try to eliminate some confusion that some folks are going to have with this race route. It's going to start and stop here at the top trailhead, so we'll start there. Tyler Burke does a really good video with some of these features on the top, so I'll throw in a video of some of his stuff with that. If you haven't watched his no ripcord video, I highly recommend you check that out. So this section here will probably be the very first thing that you do in the race. I think we're actually going to throw the tabletops in a little bit later. It just depends on what we decide when we get a little closer. But this is just a fun little section, single track that heads out toward the overlook. It's kind of a warm-up section. And then you'll basically enter the actual race route out here at what we call the no ripcord entrance, which is real close to the overlook. Alright, so we're going to start here at the top of no ripcord. We're going to actually transition into Burley, but we're going to skip all the switchbacks at the top, which are a little bit weird going down. So we're going to shoot across the overlook bridge here, which is a pretty popular spot on Instagram and all that. And then we're going to actually transition back onto the overlook, which is probably the most popular spot in Prestonsburg besides maybe Dairy Cheer. Alright, this is down past the overlook. You got a little drop there. So if you're doing no ripcord, you just go straight, but we're going to turn left here and go down the top of Burley Man. This is a really nice section through here. It's kind of notorious for being a little tight. You get a little GoPro effect going here. It's kind of hard to watch sometimes, but it's a really fun section and probably one of our easier downhills that we've got out here. That's a really tight spot right there. This is a good fast section. All this through here was hit really hard by the ice storm. You can see the sign there if you look in that picture, and you can see it pop back up in the video here. But it's amazing that we were able to get this trail back up and going as well as we did. There's still a few remnants of it here and there, like this tree that's hanging low. You can get under it with no problem.
Turtle.
Alright, this is the junction at the bottom of Wampus Cat here where Burley Man and Beeline split off. We're going to go left-handed here, go down Burley Man, which is not the way that a lot of people go. It's primarily a climb route, really. Most people go down Beeline from here. Yes, I know there's a big smear on the screen. I'm a little bummed about that, but I already did this one time and forgot to turn the GoPro on, so apparently this is the best effort I can make at this. This is Burley Man downhill. It's pretty nice. It's a little bit tight, but I would say overall it's probably the easiest downhill that we have out here from the main top. Most of our stuff skews much, much harder than this. I know it's a little hard to see what's going on through here, but there's a really chunky rock garden down here just past where this blue sign is, so you have to kind of stay on your toes for that. Other than that, it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward all the way through Burley, all the way back to the multi-use. After Burley, you got about a half mile to catch your breath on the multi-use, and then you're going to jump straight into Burning Tree. I wouldn't say Burning Tree is anybody's favorite trail out here, but it's sort of just classic single track, sugar camp single track. It's real chunky. It's about a mile long, but I didn't include a whole lot of it just because of the smear on the screen, but this is all. If you've ever ridden at Sugar Camp, you've been on Burning Tree, I can guarantee that. After that, you're going to shoot straight into Beyond Missing Link, which is one of my favorite downhill sections out here. So it's really, really chunky, really fast, really skinny. It's kind of just what people really like about Sugar Camp. It's a really awkward turn right there on that rock. Like we said, really technical, really fast. You got to really be on your toes, especially if it's a little bit slick. When you get up here on the right, you're going to turn and you're going to drop straight into 9-toe. And it's got some major GoPro effect going here because this is a really steep drop in. I guess I should note that this part and 9-toe and Munster are only going to be in the hardest categories of the race. Most people, I guess, will just go straight out Lodge View and bypass all this. But this is 9-toe, and this is the lower section of 9-toe, which is quite a bit easier than the upper. The upper part was featured pretty heavy in BKXC's video. It's definitely quite a bit harder. So this will go straight up and it'll connect right into Munster.
Wow.
This climb at the end of 9-toe gets a lot of people. The turn's a little bit tight, and then when you get up here, it's kind of tricky. You got a little drop off there on your right, and you got a lot of exposure on your left side. But it's not that bad. And you get to the top here, you're starting up Eddie Munster, which is a really popular downhill route. And you get out here, it's a really good place to get run over. So we'll touch on that a little bit. Okay, so Munster's all fun and games for about a half a mile, and then you get into the climb. So this is probably one of the harder climbs out here, in my opinion. It's not really long, but it's steep at the top. So you've got a few little things like this step up right here that kind of give you a little challenge, and then you get up and it flattens out a little bit. So after it, right here's where the real problem starts. It's totally blind, and it's a very popular downhill. So highly recommend taking your headphones out or whatever and just giving it a good holler before you go up through here because it's a great place to get run over. So you get to the top right here and then you're on Lodge View. So Lodge View actually goes left-handed right here. And the way I'm going is also a good way to get run over. I don't recommend this at all on a regular day. This is the bottom of no ripcord, and this is the route that we're going to use for the race. But on a normal day, this is really not the way that you go. So on my right here, that's the bottom of no ripcord, and this is the multi-use that we're going to go on. So you definitely don't want to go up no ripcord ever on a good day, and not in the race either. So this is the multi-use, and we're just going to take this straight out to Escalator. So this is entering into the Escalator Woods, and it's a pretty nice little trail. It needs some cleanup right now, so I'm going to skip through this pretty quickly for now. But here's a little glimpse of a new project we've got going here with a few of us local guys. I'm sure you can't see it very well. It's going to pop out right here. So that brings us to the crux of this whole route, which is the infamous escalator climb. So I would say escalator might be a little more misunderstood than a lot of other stuff we've got. It's a 2.5 mile climb. It's in full sun exposure. It's not nearly as difficult as what a lot of people think it is. To me, it's one of the easier climbs on the mountain. It's just a long way up. It's about 2.5 miles. You're in full sun exposure. You get a lot of breaks. You're like this. You're pedaling on flats a lot of the time. Then you got to climb. Then you're on flat. It has about 10 or 11 turns, but you can see right here the turns climb are really nice. It's all set up really well. The weeds will all be cut just right for the race. I know that's a problem a lot of times. It takes probably 10 times more work to keep escalator up than it does all the rest of the trails combined. The further you go up escalator, the shadier it gets. Like this is near the top, and it's starting to get pretty shady, you can tell. You got some really nice views of Stonecrest Golf Course here in parts when you actually get a chance to look. And I'm no expert climber. Most of these XC guys in this race would blow me out of the water, but it generally takes me between 20 and 25 minutes to get all the way up from the bottom of the escalator. So that pretty much sums it up. We're back where we started at the top. It's between 8 and 8.5 miles. It depends on how accurate the Strava is on that particular day. But if you've got any more questions about the race route, don't hesitate to contact us on Facebook or shoot Josh Patton a message. He's the race organizer with Bluegrass Mountain Cup. So we hope to see you at the race.